Hi, I'm Isaac Herman, and I was a Totus Tuus Missionary during the summer of 2015. I remember 2015 was a big year for Totus Tuus because it was the first time we had two teams in the Diocese of Marquette. Now it seems silly because we've got like 4 or 5 teams running all over the UP and parts of downstate and parts of Wisconsin. But that was the year we had two teams, and I was on Team Marquette with Gina Armach, Matthew Chartier, and at the time she was Hannah Stevens. Now she's Hannah Stroop. So Totus Tuus came at an interesting time in my life. I had just finished my freshman year at Michigan Tech, and during my freshman year, I found that for the first time ever, I was really like the owner of my faith. Right? My parents weren't making me go to church anymore. Nobody was like scheduling time for prayer into my day. It was really up to me. And it wasn't like I was straying from my faith or anything like that. It was just that I was quickly learning more about it, and I was just quickly learning more what it meant to be a follower of Christ. So I'm sure many people have mentioned before in their recordings that Totus Tuus isn't like an easy summer job. It's rather exhausting, actually. Most days we were up at 6 or 7 in the morning, and we're busy all day long, either teaching or traveling or just being with the people that were in our town until 10, 11. I can remember times where we weren't back to our host families until 12 at night. And this wasn't easy, especially not for me. I remember the first few weeks being particularly stressed and exhausted. I love my team. We always supported each other, no matter what. Whenever somebody needed something, we were always there for each other. But I can just remember being during like my breaks when Gina and Matt and Hannah were teaching the children. I had like 15 minutes to myself, and I can just remember like sitting there thinking, oh my goodness, what did I get myself into? How am I going to get through this? I've got another 2 months of this. I was absolutely exhausted. And what I learned during that time, it was something that I take with me even now, is that I couldn't just support myself. Or if I was just going to rely on myself or just rely on my team, there was no way that I was going to get through it. I had to take everything that I was doing, all of my thoughts and my actions, and I had to offer them entirely up to the Lord. That was going to be the only way that I was going to make it through any of that. And I'm sure everybody else who does this would say the exact same thing, that you find yourself really just needing to rely more and more on Jesus Christ. That was really my major takeaway from that summer. I learned how to take a situation, no matter what it was, and just offer it up. Because at the end of the day, God knows all of our wants. He knows our needs, our goals, our dreams, our passions. He knows everything. He knows us through and through. And He knows what's going to bring us joy. Even when we don't, or we think we know what's going to bring us joy, but in reality we don't. When we allow God to lead us and to keep Him at the center of our lives, He really does take care of all of our needs. So I'm still doing this today, especially now. Coronavirus has forced us to rely more on God than we. When I say we, I mean my wife and I. It's forced us to rely on Him in ways we never expected. Since I graduated from Michigan Tech, I've been living in the Detroit area, which has one of the highest concentrations of this virus in the country. 3 months ago, I was driving into work every single day like it was a normal day, like I had been for the year leading up to that. And now I'm spending my days in like full lockdown in my guest bedroom / makeshift home office that my wife and I share, now more than ever, we're forced to trust that Jesus is the King of the universe, and he has more in store for us than we could ever imagine. He's the one that's going to keep us safe through all of this and make sure that all of our needs are met. So to just wrap up my video, I encourage anyone listening to this to let God handle everything. We're in the midst of an absolutely unprecedented time, but God is still in charge. So in the words of St. Padre Pio, pray, hope, and don't worry. Worry is useless. God is merciful and will hear your prayer. So thank you for listening, and God bless.